This is the Open University.
He shows up at the party in a pair of dark glasses. His grandfather wore in the war. Saying nothing to no one, just drinks as if that's what God gave him his ugly mouth for. And he doesn't make passes at the girls in the corner in their Bolshevik glasses and black. When they giggle a little and look at him funny, the Gatecrasher only looks back. He takes in the faces, never quite placing them, squinting his short-sighted eyes. And each one reminds him of someone he's known, or someone he faintly dislikes. And he can't understand the naive curiosity forcing two strangers to talk, when language is always and everywhere language, and people are like cheese and chalk, like cheese and chalk. So he lifts himself out of his squatting position and gets up for something to eat. But the ham is too pink and the pork is made of poison and everything is squidgy as meat. So he fills up his glass from a bottle of vodka snatched from some new arrivals who stare, as he tips back his head like a man seized with laughter and spits the drink into the fire. And he looks so appealing, with eyes like a bloodhound and hair like the Gatecrasher crew, with the holes in his trousers designed to arouse us. He looks like he'd know what to do. On the rims of his eyes there's a trace of infection, or maybe the mark of a tear. And is it nostalgia or is it leukemia? There where the white disappears. Absent-mindedly licking the tip of a finger he's just used for scratching his ear. He wrinkles his nose at the taste of the wax, which like him is acidic and sour. And just for a second something comes back to him, something so real and remote, that he tips back his vodka to blank out the thought, and he grins as it scorches his throat. Maybe he thought of his mother, how she kicked out his father when he'd pushed her around once too much, and how he'd pretended to sleep as she hugged him, and how he'd been calmed by her touch. Or he sat with nostalgia for a little Italian he met in a bar in Milan. As they swept up the glass on Piazza Fontana, he knew she'd be thinking of him, she'd be thinking of him. Or he wonders why Hitler liked lemon verbena, and whether he loved David Brown. Or maybe he thinks of his cheap bed and breakfast. On the far side of town. And speaking of the far side of town, we found a flat. It's on the far side of town. It's up in the 19th arrondissement, near the border of the 20th arrondissement. And it's close to a cafe which we go to anyway, which we like a lot, called Mardi. And we're very happy because it's not up in a tower. We looked at a couple of flats up in towers, including the Les Olympiades, which is where my friends Gilles and Florence live. On the 25th floor, looking east across Paris towards the Duo, which is the Jean Nouvel 2 tower blocks, one of which looks as if it's collapsing. It's engineered very cleverly to look as if it's sort of tumbling down into the Seine River. Very spectacular view, but you do feel very cooped up on the 25th floor. And also you're very lift dependent, and I'm not too keen on lifts. I tend to take the stairs whenever possible. A bit claustrophobic or something in lifts. So while I liked the idea of a brutalist kind of nest in the sky overlooking Paris with fantastic views, in some ways I thought maybe I'd rather be connected to the street. So we have a much lower place, it's like the second floor, in a building from like 1971, up on a street which leads down to the Parc des Bouts de Chaumont, which is apparently going to undergo some kind of reparation over the next few years, but I think it won't be too disruptive. Some of the follies in there, because it was an old quarry or rock pit or something, landscaped in the 19th century and turned into this fantastic kind of Chinese grotto landscape. Very nice park. So that's down at the one end of the street. The other end of the street, it's the Place des Fêtes, which is a kind of brutalist hilltop encampment of enormous Stonehenge-like towers with a market 3 days a week in the center. And a lot of the old inner films, if you look at the inner films from the French National Archive of documentaries and things, from the 70s, a lot of people are regretting the disappearance of the old neighborhood up there on top of the hill and its replacement with these tower blocks. But now that kind of nostalgia for 19th century Paris has been replaced by a nostalgia in the 21st century for 20th century Paris. People like me get very excited by the brutalism of some of the buildings you can see now on the Place des Fêtes, with their kind of amazing concrete moldings and all the rest of it. The building we're in is not brutalist. It's a fairly simple building, but a lot of lights, though, 3 big windows, one small room with 3 big windows. So we're going to be practicing again this cockpit living thing, which I was explaining last time, is the way we live here, or the way people live in a lot of Asian cities, high density. The great thing, though, is being in Paris, and it's a great walk down from the top of that hill in Belleville. It's kind of gentrified part of Belleville with kind of, high-end Japanese delicatessens and whatever soap and candles and all those essential needs for gentrified people, organic vegetables, all those hallmarks. But if you walk down the hill a little bit, down the Rue de Belleville, you get into the very really Chinese district. And, that's got real Chinese supermarkets and all the rest of it. And a big Chinese population, actually. I think the second biggest after the 13th arrondissement. And it was there before the 13th. It was the first Southeast Asian community. So a lot of people from Laos, a lot of people from Cambodia, escaping political carnage in many cases, settled there. It was also the drug dealing hotspot of Paris. So just north of the market, the Belleville market, there was one street notorious for, I think it's the street with Le Relais on the corner. It's this amazing kind of Art Deco bar with neons and very 1930s decoration. And that was where you went to buy your I have no idea where you go now to buy your heroin. I think it's actually Porte de la Villette. Not that I would know or care about such things. Looking forward very much to many trips to IKEA to furnish the new place. It's unfurnished. This one technically was furnished, but we basically replaced everything, pretty much everything, with our own stuff. It wasn't as nightmarish as I thought. I ended up going to 4, 5, 6 apartments and looking at them, many of which I rejected. I wasn't interested in. I thought they would be depressing. Sometimes there are some agencies which are online only now, and you're not allowed to visit the property. So you have to do a virtual walkthrough on their website. And the virtual walkthrough is okay, but it doesn't give you the spirit of place. As Lawrence Durrell used to say, spirit of place is very important to get the sense of what a place is like and how you're going to fit in there. So I rebelled against this. This place we were kind of in the running for. We put in our documents and things for this place up in Belleville, and but I insisted on going up and just looking at the facade of the building, listening for any extraneous sounds or construction work or whatever. The nice thing is it's not really a construction area. If you're a rich person, your neighbors are always doing construction. So if you go to the West Paris, you know, very, very posh streets, there's all the scaffolding, because they've got money to burn, and they burn it on increasing the value of their properties, obviously, and doing a lot of reparations and construction and whatever. And that's a nightmare, because you're never guaranteed silence, peace. We're in a very peaceful street. So I went up there and I was taking photographs of the facade. There was a little group of people just outside chatting on the pavement, one of whom turned out to be the caretaker in the building. But I sneaked into the building because an old man was coming out, and I just sneaked in, held the door for him kindly, and then sneaked in and was taking photographs of people's mailboxes and door buzzers and all the rest of it, just gauging the feeling of the place. And it reminded me of an Athenian apartment building, actually, from the 70s, so that was a nice association. But then the caretaker was, I was climbing the stairs, and this little face was looking up at me, and it was the caretaker. Eventually we bonded, you know. He very kindly, he had a key, so he agreed to show me the flat, which, you know, we were supposed to take it sight unseen. We were supposed to just sign up for it and take it, you know, and be grateful, because there's such demand and such competition in Paris for places now that you really snap things up. You apply for things even before you've seen them often, and hope that your papers are better than other people's papers, your guarantor is better than someone else's guarantor, etc., etc. But so I saw the place, and it felt good. It had nice parquet on the floor, you know, it had a lot of light. It wasn't too high above the street. The street was quiet. So we took it, and I think we're going to be happy there. It's not as dramatic as the Place de l'Igre, which has its market. I never tire of this flea market outside. Come rain or shine, it's a bit rainy today, but so many great clothes and books down there, and I end up just buying and reading paperbacks I bought on the tables directly outside my door, wearing clothes I've seen on the tables directly outside my door. Everything costs like €1, €2. So that's amazing. And I will miss it. I'll miss the view, I'll miss the location, but you know, 7 years is not a bad run. And we're kicked out only because the landlord nepotistically wants to give it to his daughter. So we'll be up in Belleville, and there are a lot of places I haven't explored. There's a place called Plateforme, I think it's called, which is an art centre very close by. There's that whole Place des Fêtes thing. I've never actually been up there. It's a bourgeois bohemian district, so we'll fit right in. And yeah, there's pretty much all the infrastructure you might need. There's a very good second-hand clothes shop there called Le Relais. There's free lunches because there's a community canteen for for homeless people and poor people where you can get a lunch. You can choose what to pay for lunch. I paid €20 last time I was in there because I knew that I was not homeless or poor. But you know, if one falls on hard times, it's there. It's free lunch every day. There is such a thing as a free lunch after all. So yeah, that that little song at the beginning was because I was reteaching myself that song, not very successfully because I haven't quite got it off pat. But the Gatecrasher, I haven't played that song for quite a long time. It really needs, I need to feed in the Leonard Cohen sample, because that's what, there's a kind of Death of a Ladies' Man. I think one of the tracks ends with this beautiful flute. What's it, an ostinato or something? Just a kind of fluttering sound of a flute. Faded Out by Phil Spector, which I sampled back when I made the Poison Boyfriend and laid in. That's the very first sound you hear on the Poison Boyfriend album, if you have the vinyl edition anyway, over this bit. And it just, it gives this calm, slightly mysterious and spooky atmosphere for a song about a slightly spooky character who goes to parties, speaks to nobody, and is a bit of an outsider and is speculating about Hitler, little knowing that he would possibly live into an age in which Hitler was the great model for many politicians, including Nigel Farage in Britain. He's viewed sympathetically, this outsider guy. I guess he's a little bit based on Baal, Bowie perhaps incarnating Baal, the Bertolt Brecht character in the BBC theatre production he did in 1982 of Baal, which was a big influence on Momus. One of the founding documents of the whole Momus project is that Bowie-Baal EP. And of course, Baal is Brecht's, very young Brecht's take on the kind of relationship between Baudelaire and Rimbaud. So he's a kind of Rimbaud character, maybe a kind of mix of the two. But he's a poète maudit, as they say. Poète maudit, masculine. And he's slightly fearsome. He's a slightly fearsome character. There's a scene where Bowie is showing these pictures to a girl he's seduced of naked women, and then he sort of cuts one of them with a knife, and he's not a nice guy, and he's got very dirty teeth as well. Does he murder somebody? I can't remember what happens, but I think he murders his friend as they're tramping through the North France countryside or something, or North German countryside. Why do I always end up talking about Bowie in these things? That's just because I'm like a stick of rock, and Bowie is imprinted all the way through me. Stick of Scottish Edinburgh Castle rock, except instead of Edinburgh Castle it says David Bowie all the way through. I should do a concert with me hamming my way through some of these old songs. Yeah, so that's the news really. We've got a place. Yeah, so that's where things stand. And thank you for your attention. Hope you found it interesting. See you next time.
Open University.
Every good boy, every good boy, every good boy deserves favor. He shows up at the party in a pair of dark glasses his grandfather wore in the war. Since then neurosis is what passes for normality. It's okay with me if I'm queer. Giant street girl, watch as I go, my hungry blue eyes below your window. Standing on the courthouse door, justice puts a blindfold on. I come from the jungle, from Popocatépetl. I want to see you, I want to feel you. Oh, Bill Cotton was the entertainment king. Love you till you turn into a person I don't know. Patched my last with Nicorette, went surfing down the internet. Cellophane grandfather clock, I am a Buddhist, I am not Victorian. I love your shop, I love you, and I love how you love how I love you. I went with a friend of mine I hadn't seen in years to a party. It's come to bring you things that make you happy. A gigantic puppy made of living flowers. I only exist for Hair Professor Pig. Oh, Oscar tennis champion, what's up, dog? Help me go see alphas and some cops. This is the tale of Robin Hood, kind and fair, brave and good. When will I see you again? John Wise, hammer of the Babylon King. The hammer of the hypno prison. Love makes you dribble, and love makes for trouble, and love makes you feeble, and love like a book on a shelf that's never been read. I am wasted. I think you are my greatest mistake. Rise, ponytail girl. I'll stick my thing in your trash can, smokes. Mandrakes and cocaine can't stop the rain. Flopping in sandals, away from the scandals. The hiker is having such fun. The Russian girl was Wednesday. I think she ran away, but that's okay. The
yacht creep is looking nice today. Interesting anyway.
Warmongers kill the peaceful to be killed in return. When the peaceful come in the early hours to burn their houses down.
Billycock sat on Billycock's hill, but that makes little sense.
Mongrel's got a once up there on the sun, which probably explains why it is brown.
1, 2, testing, 1, 2, 3. I hate the world and the world hates me.
Working from home, dying alone. The day will come when people can be strong, as strong as the sun.
The lurch creep of the Puritan, the stink of burning bras. These orchestras are dead.
You do you, and I'll do me, but I'll probably do me better 'cause I did me first.
Date him? I was him
For several years. The closer that we got to you, the filthier we felt. Starts at conception, continues with birth, then you grow. My best friend, the Minotaur, is the master of my house. Although I often do forget about you,